Now, this was the third debate between our president Barack Obama and the governor of Boston, Mitt Romney. It was Barack won this debate as he did the second one clearly, but it was probably good. This was the best one in Barack's favor because Romney. It appeared that he was a bit apprehensive and real anxious because he knew he didn't do well in that second debate. But what he did was he tried to more openly attack Barack Obama this time. He totally did not follow protocol, and it was good that he started talking about some things that he did not really have the upper hand on. It was fortunate that he talked about the foreign affairs policy. Um, he tried to quietly sort of displace President Obama from the Jewish community, from Israel, because of the mixed DNA of Barack Obama. Romney quietly, he kind of tried to make it seem like Barack was leaning more towards, more against Israel. Now, is Israel? We have Arabics, Israelites. We have all kinds of people living in America. But back in the day, when we had when the film industry was controlled by people of Israeli descent, all those film companies, which meant all the movies we saw, all the movies from Ben-Hur to the Ten Commandments, great movies. I just named those two religious ones, but just many, all the newspapers. I don't know how much money, campaign funds, contributions were delivered to American politics during those years, but I do know that people of Israeli descent owned a lot of the power in the film industry, in the newspapers, magazines, later in television. But I mean, who doesn't know that when you speak of foreign affairs, you're not just talking about Israel. Israel may have some things that they would like done better or more in their favor, but German people would like more benefits. English people, French, I mean, everywhere in the world. But when you quietly try to put the president on blast and say, make it sound like he's doing some things that are against Israel, that was just kind of ridiculous. And Mitt Romney does a lot of business with Chinese companies who are funded directly from oil in Iran, from Iran oil. He tried to make it sound like President Obama was not that friendly with China, or America hasn't been that friendly with China. But if he wins the presidency, we will have new policies. We will let them be the monetary monitors from now on. And I don't know what he's talking about. I know that back in World War II, when Americans did not have the fuel consumption to be able to go to Japan and bomb them, or some other extended areas, we used China, the shores of China, for our pilots and our planes to crash. Most of them crashed. They didn't make great landings because the distance was so far from the carriers and from some other bases in the Pacific and in the ocean to get to those people we had to bomb, that we had to use China, the shores of China, the hospitality, the friendliness of China. Um, I don't ever remember a time. I remember having a war with Japan, Korea, Germany. I remember having several wars with England, uh, war with France, war with Mexico. Um, I don't Vietnam. Lots of people. I don't remember having any wars with Africa. Well, but let's not get into that. But I'm sure that all those people in all those countries all over the world, excluding France and England, and France and England are our first cousins. I mean, we're gonna be buddies forever. But all those other countries, especially countries where people are a little darker skinned, they are much more comfortable sitting at a table talking to Barack Obama. Any country, France, England, Germany's different, but all those other countries, well, Norway, Switzerland, but any countries where the human beings are a little darker skinned than the really pure white skinned people, they're much more comfortable talking to Barack Obama. And America, being a leader in the world, we want to be friends with everybody. We want to set the example. We want to make those people talk to us. Sometimes I'm upset that Barack is not as tough as I want him to be. But that's just talk. Everybody's different. You can't yell and be like John Wayne or Clint Eastwood. Now, when the Ayatollah Khomeini kidnapped all those Americans, well, President Ronald Reagan got on TV, and I don't think he had the permission of the House of Representatives or the Senate. And he got on TV and he told them, "Hey, release my Americans, or you will not see the sunlight. We will have so many stealth bombers in the air, the sun will not shine through. We will turn your country into a parking lot." So that was pretty tough. That was pretty loud. That was pretty against protocol, unprecedented. And I don't know if Mr. Romney wants Barack Obama to be that tough, but it was good tonight because he tried to attack Barack Obama on some things that were really silly. And you know the dominance he tried to portray tonight. Mr. Schiffer, the MC of the debate, he just overrode him. He just roebucked him. He just drove over him. He tried to drive over Barack Obama. We're talking about the MC of the debate. You drive over him, which doesn't look good to the watching public. And the president of the United States, you don't follow protocol and you drive over him. You try to roebuck him. I mean, what do the American people think that he will do when, if it won't happen, but if he had the power of being the chief executive, if he had the power of being the president of the United States of America? My God, you think he'd be listening to what somebody in the Senate said, or in the, man, let me tell you, that guy, listen, that guy's own brother and his cousin, they said they won't even vote for him. Okay? Let's check the record, fool. Check the record. You keep talking about things that you think people don't know about. Anybody's looking at this video that knows me, that this is Big Ron. You know I read a lot. So I'm going to read and know something about something before I talk about it. And it sounds like he just tried to find some weak points in our president and tried to attack them. But he's feeling the strain. He knows that he's pretty much out of it now. I wrote a lot of notes, but I'm all pumped up now, and I just want to say some of the things I want to say. He's talking about he wants to build up the American military, most explicitly the Navy. And then he says the Navy needs 313 ships to complete its mission. Not one time during the whole debate did I hear what mission he was referring to. What mission? And then he said, Mr. Obama, we only have 285 ships, but we need 313. So that's, what is that? 28 ships. We're short 28 ships to complete our mission. What the hell the mission is, I don't know. But when you're fighting for the biggest job in the world and you resort to things like that, it kind of makes me not put much stock in what you're saying. You see, he believes in capitalism, and that's the way America's operated. And of course, Mr. Obama does too, and probably all of us here in America. It's good when people have the right to endeavor in some business, some legal business that they can make a profit. That's what America's all about. But Mr. Romney's not talking about straight capitalism. He's talking about giving all the power to the big corporate American companies so that they can control stocks and bonds, the trade market. That's what he wants to do. He doesn't give a dang about small Americans having jobs or being able to grow some tomatoes in their backyard and selling them maybe to make $1. He doesn't care about anything like that. He cares about giving tax breaks to big giant companies that make zillions of dollars so they can continue to fund the things that he is fond of. You get on the president for not having 313 ships for some crazy Twilight Zone kind of mission, and then you say we only have 285 ships. That's a hell of a thing. But mostly really what he did tonight was he tried to put an extra chip on Mr. Obama's shoulder. Because of Mr. Obama's background, he tried to make it seem like Mr. Obama was leaning away from the people of Israel. I don't think that's true. But I know what is true. What is true is in all these countries, in all these years in America, since, let's go to 1776, there probably has never been a president or a chief executive who has had the kind of rapport and the kind of comfortable feeling with people from those Arabic nations, people who believe in the nation of Islam. There has never been a president who has had the ear of those people like President Obama has. You can tell I'm all pumped up. I'm kind of pumped up, but Obama's doing it the right way. Diplomacy is the right way. Iraq, Afghanistan, if they're trying to sneak around and build up some nuclear weapons, well, what can you do? Maybe you can be like Ronald Reagan was with the hostages. You can tell them, I'll send enough stealth bombers over there and I'll turn your country into a parking lot. Maybe you can say that. But other than that, this is the real world. You need diplomacy. You need diplomacy. You need tact. You need to be able to sit everybody down at a table, and people have to talk. Some people have to make compromises. You need to talk. Romney really stubbed his toe when he was trying to explain where the money is going to be coming from that he needs to build up the military. More importantly, the Navy. When they tried to get from him, where are you going to get the money from to build up the Navy? He never did give them a reason. It was just out in midair. I mean, Romney's working with these Chinese companies that are backed by oil money from Iran. Say you want to let you statement. It sounded like because Obama wants some competition. He wants China to have some competition so they can't rocket their exploration. Romney says that him letting some other countries sell us some things that China would sell us is bad for our relations with China, and he says that like we're making enemies of China or we're good friends with China, and he's gonna change that if he's elected president. We've always been friends with China. I remember the soldier after going. I remember these soldiers